This webinar is about automating an online personal training session directly to your clients' homes. It also works for small group training. It also works for larger group training, a lot of these different systems, because I thought it was very important for us to look at the systems. Never again are we going to go back to only training people in a gym or only training people in a park. We need to be able to live stream and also show classes that are recorded that are online. I always separate online from live stream. They're different. This is pre-recorded, this is live. And then of course we have our studio and our club work. But we need to look at this. So personal training is never going to be the same after this pandemic. We must always be able to reach our clients anytime, anywhere, which is a great thing to do, because if they go to, I'm in Chicago, if I go to Florida in November, my trainer can keep training me, which would be great. We must be able to run our personal training sessions from all devices, from computers, iPads, iPhones, cell phones, whatever. And we need to discover innovative ways to accept payment. Because I don't know about you, but all the personal trainers I know, all the group fitness instructors I know, they've either launched into doing things for free, launched into doing things on Venmo, and they're asking for donations for different programs. And we have to really realize that this pandemic will lift, and you guys deserve to make an income, okay? And you deserve to get payment for your professional services. So these different systems have ways to accept payments, schedule appointments, video your sessions live, communicate in an accessible and affordable manner with people. So looking at these systems is very, very important. I'm going to ask you all to move your mouse, go to the bottom of your screen. You're going to see a share screen button. Go over to the chat box if you would please. Open it up. You can move it to the side. Type into it. Type in your name, where you're from, and possibly the role you have with your fitness facility. So please chat with us. Open up your chat box. Tell us where you're from. Type in there. I'm going to type in hello, and see if you guys are, feel free to come and join us and go in the chat box. Oh, hi, Katie, Portage, Michigan. I heard things are tough in Michigan. We've got people from Maine, from Canton. We've got somebody from South Florida, from Maryland, California, the Bay Area, New Jersey. See, Rich, you got one of your own.
I like it.
Yeah, Detroit. So we've got, thank you for signing in, you guys. And we're looking, I'm seeing small studios. I saw a couple YMCAs, a state university, small training studio, a personal training center, Arizona, you guys are from all over. This is very cool. And we've got some facilities that are open, and we've got some facilities that that are like way in lockdown. So we're going to try to address all this for you guys. First of all, I'm going to introduce our panelists, and we're going to go into this. Louis Agnew, he is the COO of My PT Hub, the world's #1 software for personal trainers and fitness professionals with over a decade of personal training experience, including face-to-face sessions, online coaching, and delivering group classes. And Louis is with My PT Hub. I'm going to ask Beth, who's helping to run this session. Beth, if you would type in the website for My PT Hub, that would be great. And then we have Brad Thorp, who's from smarthealthclubs.com, smarthealthclubs.com. And he's a veteran of the health and fitness industry with over 29 years of senior sales management experience. In the commercial fitness market, he has extensive experience in strategy, sales, business development, I'm looking to see if he teaches Zumba here. I don't see it.
No.
Okay, okay. But Brad works with a lot of the larger companies that have a lot of either franchises or also assist with the larger chains. Rich Spear is with ETrain X, and he's the Chief Business Development Officer and Executive Board Member for ETrain X. He possesses an extensive background in business management. He's a subject matter expert in sports management and personal fitness training. So this is really, we've got these experts, and I'm going to tell you guys, I put their websites in there. They're not sponsoring this webinar. They're not paying SCW. They're providing us education. It's great for you to check them out, but it's not about selling their programming. It's about, let's learn how we can do this. So I'm going to start with you, Louis, because I'm hoping you stay awake the whole 45 minutes. Thank you for joining us from the UK, but I know that you service people in the United States. But having that international background, I think, makes it really helpful. How does your business run?
So yeah, thanks for the introduction there. So My PT Hub, we're a worldwide company. We run in the United Kingdom, obviously, over in the States and Canada, mainland Europe, Australia. I saw someone the other day in Tokyo, had got their hands on it. So the company runs, it's a subscription to a tool. The tool itself is My PT Hub, which enables personal trainers to create workouts, create nutrition plans, take payment for their services, open up the doors for live streaming events, any recorded events that they've got, any boot camps, one-to-one personal training, anything like that. Their programs, they can service their customers, their client base through the mobile app and the web app itself.
So where do you get most of your users? Like, are they independent personal trainers or group fitness instructors, small group, or is it the boutique studios?
Yeah, sure. So it's an interesting one, actually. We started off with getting a lot of personal trainers that are just individual trainers. Then we started working with a lot of gym chains in the UK, sort of some of the bigger gym chains in the UK, so the gym groups, Pure Gyms, these kind of guys. And then the boutique market just boomed, absolutely boomed in the past sort of 3-4 years. And we've seen a massive uptake from those guys. It's more because I think personal training on an individual level, it takes that personal trainer to make the move. Whereas with a gym, certainly with boutique gyms, they're looking for that edge that they can service their customers with. And a tool like My PT Hub certainly does that.
That's wonderful. Brad, can you tell me about what smarthealthclubs.com offers?
So we offer a all-in-one solution where we've taken, instead of we work primarily with the health club market, the fitness centers, the large facilities, not so much on the boutique or one-on-one trainers out there, but we have an all-in-one app that does everything from nutrition to fitness plans to instructor substitution, being able to book a spot, book a bike, book a reformer, attendance tracking, and a payroll report functionality for the club owners and the staff. And along with the push notifications and marketing tools that come with it.
Oh, that's very cool. So it's like they can do, what type of programs do they use? Do the trainers or the instructors or the clubs use to upload? Do they use Zoom? Do they use?
We have a virtual platform. Yeah, well, that's going to be built into the app itself, and that'll be available come July 1st. We're testing it right now. So. But the virtual part will be there. The trainers can create their own plans. They can put their videos up there of how the workouts actually go. We have all the tools built into the app so that they could do virtual training along with nutrition and all that.
Cool. And Rich, tell us about ETrain X. We love the T-shirt, by the way.
I wore it for you specifically. It was part of the protocol that I received. I don't know who sent that, but I got a protocol. So basically, ETrain X is a trainer exchange. We operate as the agent to the trainer. Trainers are really good at certain things. They're good at connecting with their members. They're good at connecting with their clients. And maybe they don't have a lot of time, or they don't have the expertise on the business end, or they don't have the business acumen. We provide a service like a commitment to our clients, you, the trainer, where we can provide you with the marketing tools, social media, which is a big seller on our end. We provide the payment profiles where we collect everything. It's an all-in-one, one-stop shop. You don't have to go separately to run Stripe or run Zoom. We run our own videos. We're going to add a storage facility component that's going to be like an a la carte, and we charge a percentage. We are a percentage-based company. So the more that you earn, the more we earn, obviously, but we cater to the trainer so that they can earn more money, because it incentivizes us to earn more money. And that's basically what we do. It's simple.
That's great. Now, you guys, we've got about 65 people on the webinar. So if you guys have questions, type it in the chat box. I will respond. I will ask everybody. One thing that interests me, Rich, is what is the percentage, and do I set what I charge for Group X or set what I charge for my personal training clients?
Well, it's entirely up to you. We can give you ideas based on your geographic area, but absolutely, you charge what you believe you can receive. East Coast prices might be different than West Coast prices, and so on and so forth. We have found that the group training method has been very lucrative for the trainers, especially in times now that there are no facilities available. We could roll group training through virtual fitness and make that much more exponential money, because if we're going to charge $10 a class, for argument's sake, and we could put 15 people in a class across the country, and the class is 45 minutes to, let's say, an hour tops, you're now making $150 an hour, as compared to your whatever it is, $50 to $100 an hour on your one training client. So we're pushing that big. It's very, very big going now, and the virtual aspect of it is the selling point.
Okay. And Louis, do you work on a monthly fee, or do you work? How do you guys operate your business?
Yeah, sure. So ours is a flat subscription fee. So you either pay for a year up front, or you can do it month by month. I sent over to Beth some bits earlier, so it's probably in the chat now. But so we charge typically $49 per month, and that gets you unlimited everything. So you can run as many virtual or on-demand classes as you'd like, and then from there, as Rich said earlier, you can charge whatever you like. It's completely up to you. We don't take any cut of that whatsoever. And
I just got a question from, I think it's from Darcy. She asked, she finds with Zoom that there's a lag time between the sound and the video. Do you guys work, Louis, do you work with Zoom, or do you also work with your own virtual system?
Well, we've got an integration with multiple, actually. Zoom is one of them. And yes, we have heard that before. So Darcy's absolutely right there. There are a number of them out there. But yeah, you can use, obviously, video functionality through My PT Hub, as it is inbuilt as well, if you like to.
And what do you recommend for music? How do you integrate the music so that they can have, personal trainers don't so much use the music, but small group trainers may use the music and want to be on the beat, and the same with group exercisers. Is that an option?
The music itself comes from the trainers. It's not something that we start to dabble in. only because of licenses and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, that's sort of handled before you get into the platform from the trainer side of things. And then it would just be a case of using that whilst you're using your delivery system, whatever that may be.
And just to answer you, Darcy, or it wasn't Darcy, it's Becky who asked about the music licensing. If your facility is paying ASCAP and BMI, et cetera, then it's covered if you're training through the studio. If you're training independently, ASCAP and BMI, and I always do the C-SPAN, I guess it's C-SPEC or whatever, either I'm going to fly up into the clouds or I don't remember what it's called. But those three organizations, they will reach out to you. And if they reach out to you, what you need to do is pay them the minimum. Don't talk to them. Don't tell them how many friends you have on Instagram. Just pay them the minimum, go on your merry way if you're doing it independently. If you're doing it within your club facility, it's all covered. So don't worry about that. We're talking to Yes Music actually to do a webinar with them to go really dive into the music issue in the future. And with Brad, in running the programs, how does it work? Like what are the facilities finding? Like what is the major success with being able to run these on-demand programs?
Well, they've definitely found that they have to create a virtual membership, and they're still keeping their brick and mortar, but at the same time, they're creating a club app for just virtual videos on demand and live streaming. So that's been an interesting model that's definitely forthcoming and definitely needed in the market today as far as the health clubs themselves, the brick and mortar ones. So we're seeing a lot of that develop right now, and they're having great success with it. They're using their Group X, but they're also using personal training with it now.
Do you find that more people are accessing the recorded on-demand sessions, or that a lot of people tend to be engaging now with the live streaming, or, if the club is open up per se?
Yeah, so for the last 2.5 months, it's really been on demand. They haven't gone to that live streaming yet. It's a lot to set up in the facility itself, along with all the cameras and the microphones and the sound system. So that hasn't happened yet in a lot of the clubs, but they're all wanting to get there, I think, by the end of summer.
Yeah, the bigger facilities unfortunately tend to move a little bit slower.
Yes.
Yeah. And Rich, where do you find most people having the most success? Because I know everybody on this call, some are studio owners, some are individual trainers or individual instructors. Are they having more success with the recorded on-demand sessions that are a little slicker, a little cleaner with the music, etc., or the live streaming tends to engage the clients more?
Well, I believe it's a combination of both. The live stream group training has been a giant hit, but the idea of being able to take that same live class in an archived workout later on that day or later on that week has been a huge success as well. So what we do is we stream live and we archive those workouts. Then we can roll out those workouts again. And we don't know the fee-based model on that as of right now, but we are going to offer that full service in an all-in-one package at some point, because it's a priority that the trainers have the ability to pull up an archived workout that they have taught live in person and be able to roll that out if, for argument's sake, they're not feeling well or they're out of town, or if someone wants to take that same workout that they took 2 weeks ago and they say, hey, Rich, I love that workout last Monday. How do I find that in the archives? Can I roll that out again? And the answer is absolutely.
Oh, that's great to be able to do that. And this is a great question from Shireen. And Louis, maybe you can answer this, because you've had PT Hub for how long now? How long have you guys been running these type of programs?
This is the 6th year.
6th year. So you really, it's funny, you probably were before your time, and now suddenly it's just like, the clouds open up and the sun is shining in. But these people want to know, how are clubs handling this? Are they including the virtual and the streaming classes and the on-demand classes with the membership, or are they charging separately, or are they doing a combination charge, or doing all three?
Absolutely, all three. A combination of all three, without a doubt. Yeah, as Brad said earlier, this isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, really. And looking forward, this is definitely going to be an extra revenue stream for any business, whether it's a personal trainer as an individual, or whether it's a gym chain, a boutique gym. It doesn't matter what you're operating. You can't ignore that this is a successful way for businesses to deliver content to a new market that they haven't been able to reach before. You know, going virtual or certainly on demand systems now means that you can reach clientele that are the other side of the world, that your brick and mortar just couldn't do.
And it's interesting to hear you say that. I have a friend, I actually have two good friends that have opened up their facilities in Florida. One does an all women's shapes gym, and she actually charges $69 a month for unlimited access to the club and unlimited on-demand programs, because she runs them. She recorded sessions and put it on demand. Then it's $59 a month if you only do the brick and mortar, and then she made it $19.95 if you only want to do the on-demand classes. And then she's trying to figure out how she can also integrate the streaming in. And then this other friend of mine he's a higher end Boca Raton, la-di-da facility. And he's got a premier membership, $150 a month. And it includes every bell and whistle. And then if you wanted limited time in the facility, he goes down to like, $99, like right underneath that $100 price point. But he doesn't even offer the on-demand as a separate price. So it's interesting the way these different companies are choosing to integrate. And the only thing I would caution or remind you guys to think of that are on this call, how do you say this delicately? You're going to mess up, okay? You're going to make every mistake, because we have never been here before. We can pretend we've been here in 2001 with 9/11, okay? We can pretend we lived through the recession of 2007, but we've never lived through anything like this. So, Louis, you've been doing this for about 6 years. What are you seeing hotels, the health clubs charging with the on-demand or with the live streaming? Where are you seeing it land? I know you've got, got it in pounds or euros, but how is it translating in the United States?
Sure. So the actual monetary side of things seems to be that a lot of the clubs in the UK are actually remaining as what their normal service subscription fees are. They're not actually dipping those at all. Now, there are different ways you can look at this. One, it's a survival tactic. And a lot of people don't want to see their gym go out of business. So they're happy to pay the extra, yes, I might not be able to go into a brick and mortar club, but I am still being serviced by that club. And I'm still getting the enjoyment, the relief, it's relieving my anxiety, all sorts of things throughout lockdown. So the price that I'm paying for that doesn't really seem to be changing. That being said, if you're looking to add a new revenue stream to your business, then yes, you should be looking at changing your price point, because it's not the same as a one-to-one session. And as best we can try, it's just not going to be that way. So yes, the price reduction does come into play, but as I say, you're now broadening your market span, so you can actually take on more members at a lower price point and deliver the same content, as Rich said earlier, to more people at once.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, because if I look at this, I can service more people, but I don't have to clean up after them. I'm not buying, paper towels and having them steal my toilet paper. Okay. They're not getting dirtying my facility, but I'm able to accommodate more people and maybe even give them more personal attention. That's very interesting. So some people are viewing this as a cost of doing business, meaning I got to offer this. I'm going to roll it in. Brad, are you finding that that's kind of the mentality of what you're seeing with the chains and with the independent health clubs?
Well, I think, as Lewis said, there's 3 levels. So it's a mix of different tiers. One of the hospital-based wellness centers we're working with, they created a virtual app for all their 70,000 employees. So now they've, instead of having just the 4 brick and mortar facilities and the members coming in, now they got a way to market to those other, 50,000 employees that aren't coming into their facilities. So they're creating that revenue stream. It's a new revenue stream for them, and they're going to be charging $30 a month, $29.99. The low price, the low price, high value facilities, they're going to charge an extra $10 or $20, whatever they're seeing on the virtual training from what they've been telling me. And then I've got the high end going up to $49 a month, $49.99 a month. So it varies. It all depends on what your current membership monthly dues are as far as that streaming. So yeah, and we're seeing a lot of that changing, and people are definitely going to make mistakes going forward, but it's finding that price point that you're going to be able to reach, especially if you're in a market where there's a lot of people traveling. This is going to be a great opportunity to keep those members tied to your facility and create a community within your clubs.
And Brad, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
You've seen the industry. Would you recommend to our people, someone said, well, what should I charge and how do I, monetize my small group training? Would you recommend them starting with a lower price point and then raising it gradually? Or would you recommend starting at a higher price point and then if it's not working, showing the value there and giving a discount and beginning to lower it from there?
I like to start high and go with a discount, especially in the beginning here, to see where that price point's going to end up, especially when everybody's giving on-demand free right now. It's kind of hard to, jump into a very high tier, but, I've got some high tier clubs that are starting high and, they seem to be doing extremely well with that. So I would start high and then offer the discount. That's definitely been the way the market works in the health club market.
And Rich, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I honestly believe I've been in group training for 20 years. And I've done the personal training, the one-on-one training as well. In my opinion, I believe that you maximize yourself. You are your best salesperson. People come to work out with Lewis. They don't come to work out in Lewis's facility. They want Lewis to be their trainer. So if Lewis can go virtually and Rich Spear can work out from 3,000 miles away, and Rich Spear's sister can work out from 50 miles away from Rich Spear and all take Lewis's class, and it could be the same price, I'm all for it. And I honestly think that the trainers these days need to understand that their value is themselves. That's their value. I don't care where they work or where they used to work or the brick and mortar. That means nothing. Those days are over. They need to market themselves. And how do they market themselves? Through social media, through word of mouth, through their past clients, through their current clients. That's how they're going to market themselves. So I don't think that there is a cut and dry price point. If I've been doing this for 20 years and people ask for me specifically, they're going to pay for me. If they want someone who I trained, who is in my group, then they're going to pay for that, which is less than what they pay for me. But I don't think that there's a real answer where this is the fee or this is the fee. I think that you are entitled to as much money as you can earn. You work hard for your business, you're building your business, you have built a client base, and you need to maximize that money. And you don't need to worry about how you're going to get paid. These are my fees. You want me? Come get me. If you need to figure out how you're going to get that payment structure, go through the platform. The platform will take care of everything. It'll schedule your workout. It'll schedule your pay. It'll take care of everything. But you need to understand that people think they need to work lower because they need to compete with the person next to them who's doing it for $10 an hour. Well, guess what? You don't want to do it for $10 an hour. You want to do it for your worth. And if you're worth more than $10 an hour, then you need to charge more than $10 an hour, period. That's how I feel about that.
I think it's very important that everybody on this call realize that and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but there's plenty of people out there that are still maintaining their jobs. Okay. Granted, last week we had 3 million people go on unemployment, which is a terrifying number, but still we have a lot of people that are still employed and are dying to get out and get in the gym. And even the individuals that are unemployed or have been furloughed, they've got, they haven't been going out, they haven't been spending anything for 2 months. And their health, if we market ourselves correctly, I'm on the gallery view now with Zoom, and I can see all your names. I can see Steph and Michael and Kathy and Annette. I feel like I'm Mr. Rogers looking in there. But if we don't realize our worth, and our value, we'll never see it. There's so many, like we're doing the webinars free here. And there's a lot of conferences that are trying to, come about. We did a full conference. We had 1,125 people pay for a convention. We gave it at a discount, but we still built the value and sold it as such. And I truly believe that we can, as an industry, charge, and that we should charge. How would you recommend, Louis, how would you recommend that we transition from being a free service, from doing on-demand programming, which we needed to do because nobody knew what was going on with the world, and we wanted to connect with our clients, and I didn't even know how to reach half my clients. I could just post it on Facebook, and a friend would tag a friend and say, hey, Sarah's doing a class Monday, Wednesday morning, blah, blah, blah. But how do I transition, let's say some of these people are doing free programming now, to asking to get paid?
So yeah, that's a really interesting one, because it depends on what you're offering and the value that people see in that offering. So nowadays you see a lot of free things up on social media, a lot of people kicking out a lot of information on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be. And it's all good content. Well, some of it is, and it should be paid for content. So a technique that we tend to suggest is that if you're offering a product, could be a digital product or it could be a face-to-face product, whatever that is. When you come to the end of that product, maybe 2 weeks before that product finishes, say you're doing like an 8-week transformation program with somebody. 2 weeks before the end of that program, we suggest marketing a membership option to them. So you've got a higher price point here. So if your 8-week program is costing $500 and you want to keep that customer, once that 8 weeks is over, you don't want that customer just to go, nice one, I'm off. You want to keep them as a customer. So 2 weeks from the end, you market a lower price point membership option. Now, this membership option is where they get content delivered from you, but it's delivered through My PT Hub or whatever you're using, so that it keeps them engaged, and it also keeps your revenue in your pocket. You've worked hard to get that customer for that initial 8-week product. They've done the hard work doing that 8-week transition, or whatever you want to call it, that 8-week program. And then towards the end of that, they're still going to need support moving forward. So it's putting them onto another product that you have that is a lower price point, so that it keeps them in your ecosystem. It keeps your revenue numbers up, but it also keeps them engaged.
That's very valuable. And it's also, I think what people can realize on this call is what they can do is they can sell sessions, whether it's small group sessions or whether it's private training sessions. And do you recommend, like, they can buy an individual personal training session for a certain price, and then they could buy 3 sessions for another price and a full package of 10 for this price. And can it be fed into your system and then ticked off so that me as the trainer, I can go in, I can review my finances or where they're at, and I don't have to keep my books on a piece of paper with a pen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what you can do. You can go in there. We call it packages and actually finances as well. So packages is where you go in and you create whatever you want to sell. So whether that may be merchandise, that may be personal training sessions, packs of personal training sessions. You can do recurring payments, so like a membership system. And then once you've had that session with that client, you just deduct that session from them. And it keeps tally of how many they've got left. You can gift them sessions if maybe they've paid you in cash or by a check or whatever it may be. So you can gift them those sessions. So you can still digitalize that process and keep track of your finances within the software.
Which is great, because for tax purposes, we know we have to do that.
Sure.
We don't always do it accurately, and God forbid we get audited, right? That's a little scary. Brad, are the clubs able to maintain that same structure? And let's say it's a facility that has your app. Can they allocate certain amount to like one trainer, and then what if somebody substitutes, and how about a small group training session?
We actually have all that built into the app today. So we have an instructor substitution. We have a payroll report along with an attendance report so that people can, now see what the cost is per class, and do some analysis from what classes are working for their members. Going back, I wanted to bring up one point before we come to an end. A lot of people, especially the senior market, if you offer any type of silver sneaker program, you can actually now do virtual classes and get paid for them. So that's a market that's, some people are thinking that, what am I going to do? Because those seniors are not going to want to come back into their facility. So we're seeing that some of the programs we can do virtually, now you can get paid for, because we provide a check-in process, and we know we can provide the list to be able to get reimbursed for that the clubs are using.
That's great. And it's funny. It's not funny. It's wonderful. Terry just made a wonderful statement talking about functionality and longevity. And I think the mission of all our personal trainers, of all our training, is building immunities. And I think this is a great selling point for all of us, is that, and it's not just this tacky, here I got to send my kids to college and feed my family. It's also, we're in a wonderful profession. We're in a beautiful profession where we can help others. And if you use the selling point, the longevity, the vitality, the building of the immunities, whether someone's young or old, it's very, very important. Rich, what are your thoughts on the different packages, like we were just chatting about? Someone had typed that in there.
Well, I think that the trader doesn't need to limit themselves to anything. They can offer and morph themselves into whatever it is that they believe that their client base wants. If they want to pay for a one-on-one virtual session, and it's worth the while of the trainer to give that virtual session, then I'm all for it. I have found that there's more money to be made in group training, and it's just an easier sell. If I'm going to put 7 people in a room and I'm going to train them and give them time one-on-one, even though there's 7 of them together, that saves me 6 other hours to do other things, because I'm putting 7 hours worth of work in 1 hour. So as far as the group classes are concerned, there's 0 extra cost involved as well. The cost benefit for the member is significantly better, because they're only paying for a 7th or a 10th or a 15th of the class. If you're going to charge $10 for an hour's class, where normally they'll pay $100 for an hour one-on-one session, they might say, well, heck, I can come to 10 classes for the same $100 and still be good. So At this point, I think that the members, your members, the trainers themselves need to understand that in order for them to maximize their earning potential, they're going to have to offer a hybrid of all of those things. Whether it, listen, there could be a person who comes in and says, I want a personal session and I want some group sessions. I want to do everything. And you're going to have to be able to offer all of those things at any time.
And Rich, somebody asked, how are you paid? Because the app, the app is set up to take the funds. Are the funds going directly into your account? Or is it like an end of the month payment where you keep a percentage?
Well, the way that it's going to work is that the money is going to go directly to the trainer's account through our portal. We're going to take out the percentage and give the trainer the net amount the day that the money is paid, or the next day, whenever it is that, whatever it works. So the trainer gets paid less the commission for ETrain X.
Okay, and what is the percentage? I'm just looking at the question.
We're starting at a flat 15%, and that's going to include the payment fee. So, for example, if they're paid through PayPal, and PayPal charges 3.5%, that is included in the 15%. We're going to offer a 10% rate to everybody on this conference call, this Zoom WebEx, for an extended period of time as an introductory rate. But the rate is 15% flat based on however much money you earn.
Okay, that's great. And I've seen in the chat also, and I don't know if you gentlemen have any suggestions on this. It's kind of like down the music track. It's getting a little off track. They're asking about insurance. And everybody's silent. Brad, you moved your lips. You're stuck with us.
I don't know what to do on the insurance. I mean, that's working with, the different insurance companies that, support the fitness market today.
Okay, what I'll share with you guys as far as insurance goes is my number one thing is get it. Okay, it's very inexpensive. Somebody typed in the chat, Philadelphia Insurance. I think Beth, didn't we work with Sport and Fitness?
Sports and Fitness.
Sports and Fitness, we worked with them. They're a very good company as well. You just get your individual insurance. Again, you go for your minimum amount, but carry insurance. If you're training somebody out of their home, you should also have them sign their informed consent form or their waiver of liability. And if I sound like I know what I'm talking about, I kind of do, not really, but I am a lawyer by education. We can supply you a waiver if you guys want one when you begin your sessions with people. Do you guys, Lewis, when you have the PT Hub, is there some type of waiver or informed consent form built into the system?
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody who comes, any client that gets added to the software, they have to fill out what we call a PARQ form, which is a pre-activity readiness questionnaire.
Basically, you guys, I'm sorry, Lewis, I'm going to interrupt because I used to live in England. A PARQ is basically a health history form. Okay, go ahead.
Sure. So yeah. So yeah, in addition to that, however, if you want to add any extra forms in there, that you can do, and it's all stored digitally as well.
Okay, great. And so it's automatic. Like when we do that for our conferences, everybody's, when they register for the conference, they're signing their informed consent form. So I'll tell you, Brad, when you're working with a bigger facility, I am sure as soon as they become a member, it's within their release form. But I would encourage all of you at home, look at your release forms because a lot of them don't specifically indicate COVID-19. And my husband actually is a practicing attorney, and he said you need to specifically mention COVID-19 when you reopen your facilities, which I found fascinating. I thought you could just mention viruses in general, but he suggested that you specify COVID-19 and or any other virus. So we will make sure, I'm making sure that I check on time. We've got like 1 minute left. I will, Beth, remind me that we can put the waiver of liability. I have one that you guys can use as a business, for a business form. It's not legal advice. I can't practice law in Michigan or Connecticut or wherever New Jersey. God knows, not New Jersey. Right, Rich? Not New Jersey.
Not New Jersey. No, no, no.
New Jersey. Yeah. But I'll supply that for you for the smaller, for you, the independent contractors and things like that. But if I were going to ask you, what one piece of advice would you gentlemen leave for the people on this call? We will make sure that this is a recorded call. I really, my watch is talking to me. I really loved this conversation. It's recorded, and we're going to be sending it out to you tomorrow afternoon or early evening. So you all have a copy of the recording. We'll include each My PT Hub and smarthealthclubs.com, as well as ETrainX.com. We'll include their websites in there, and I'll put in my waiver so you can use it as business advice. And you guys can have all their information. You'll get it in the recording. So no worries on that. But if I were asking you, gentlemen, what one piece of advice would you leave for these wonderful people who are on the webinar? Rich, I'm going to start with you.
Don't undersell yourself. You have value. Your value is yourself. You make sure you get out there, you market yourself, and if you need help marketing yourself, reach out to us. You are your biggest commodity. Great.
And Brad?
Well, I think, as far as the health clubs, I think they're going to have to adopt to more technology in their facilities today. It's been technology overall has been very slow moving and adopting in the health club market, but we're starting to see a lot of fast-paced growth and see that understanding that what we can help and deliver and save the staff time and create a better member experience for them.
Thank you. I think that's very important. And Lewis?
Mine would be similar to what Richard said. Really, don't undersell yourself, but also have options. Have different options available of your products, of your services, so that every customer who comes to your virtual shop window has something that they can purchase.
Wonderful. I think that's absolutely great. I'm going to share the screen, you guys. I'm going to leave you all with a fun little video here showing you what our next conference coming up in July we're very excited about. So I'm going to move my chat box just in case it's in the way. And
introducing Livestream Mania, powered by Zoom. SCW has developed an entire fitness convention direct to your home. Interact in real time with live training alongside nationally renowned presenters. One affordable flat fee gets you access to the full schedule of sessions with no walls and no limits. Move between any of our live streaming sessions at your leisure with no pre-selected classes and no boundaries. This is our way to empower you, our SCW community. So register, earn your CECs, and get educated, because now is the perfect time to invest in yourself. Take care, and we look forward to having you at one of our many Livestream Mania sessions soon.
Great. So I want to thank you guys all for joining me today. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful evening. And our next webinar, I think, is next Tuesday. So I'll see you all there. Thank you for
Sarah.
joining us.